Frankie Edgar's fighting. Who's
Cub
he fighting?
Swanson.
Cub Swanson.
I don't. So, about that fight, I don't like the fight. I don't have a problem with it. Like, I feel like Frankie just got knocked out.
Yep.
And that's really soon to come back. If anybody can bounce back from something like that, it's a guy like Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt the same way about Bisping fighting after he didn't get knocked out. He got dropped by George and then got choked unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, he shouldn't take that Gastelum fight so soon.
Yep, I completely agree.
Like, and I feel that way about this fight because I feel like Frankie wants this fight because he wants to get that taste out of his mouth. But like, it's still gonna taste the same. Anytime you go back and watch that fight, you're still gonna have those feelings, right? You're going to win your next fight more than likely. You're Frankie Edgar.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to rush it. Like, let your brain rest, recover. That's how I feel about it. But that's only because I'm 41 now. If I was 26, maybe I would have been like, and I know Frankie's like 32, 33.
I think he's 36.
Frankie's 36?
I think he's 36.
So
find out for us. I'm pretty sure Frankie's 36.
But I'm like, you want to go out there and do it, but when I think about brain trauma and the things that I forget, 36. I'm always like, my CTE's flaring up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, he fought Cub just a couple of years ago and mauled him and got a last-second submission. Maybe he just thinks, look, there ain't a fucking thing in the world this guy can do to stop me.
Yeah.
You know, I've fucked him up before. I'm going to fuck him up again. It doesn't matter. I'm not even going to get hit. I'm just going to get a hold of him, ragdoll him just like I did before. But Cub Swanson can crack. He can crack. And he's got a kid now, and he's got a second kid along the way. And that
he doesn't quit.
Does not quit. And that makes dudes hungry. And that fight is probably a massive motivating factor for Cub Swanson.
Yeah, and Cub is still around, and he's still number 4 because he takes the lessons from these fights.
Yeah.
He learned something in that fight with Frankie.
Yeah.
I can't see that fight going. I mean, there's a part of me that can see that fight going exactly the same way, but I can also see Cub having made adjustments because of the lessons that he learned from that fight.
Sure. And he had to learn from the Ortega fight as well. You look at how Ortega handled Frankie. He handled him very smart. Very creative. I mean, Cub fights a different way. Cub is more of an in-and-out guy, and he explodes on you, and he keeps his hands down low and sneaks shots on you. He does a lot of weird shit. He's real creative. He's got to watch out for the takedown and the wrestling control, though, because that was a big factor in the fight. That was giant.
That's where he got controlled. Yeah. But I mean, it's a great fight. I'm just all about what's better in the long run.
Right.
Well,
it's Tom's River. The problem is he's New Jersey, and this is going to be in Atlantic City, and all the boys are going to come down. And I'm with you 100%. I would like to see this fight, but I would like to see this fight in 6 months. Yeah. I mean, it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Great fight. And Frankie could go in there and wipe him out or do exactly what he did last time, or it could be a battle and nothing comes of it. But it's just like, I'm like, err on the side of caution.
Some good fights on this card, man.
Yeah.
David Branch and Thiago Santos.
I'm looking forward to that one. I want to see.
That's a tricky fucking fight. That Thiago Santos guy is a murker. That dude crushes people.
And he ever since his loss to Spicely, he's been it seemed to be more focused.
He's a fucking animal, man. Very dangerous striker. And David Branch, coming off of that performance against Luke Rockhold, he had Rockhold hurt.
Yep.
He had Rockhold hurt, and he wound up getting dominated. Wound up getting mounted and beaten down, got his back taken and smashed, but
he learned a lesson in that fight too.
For sure. You learn a lot about conditioning when you fight a guy like Rockhold too.
Yeah.
Rockhold is one of the best in the division at top control. He gets on top of dudes like what he did with Chris Weidman. Weidman is a stud wrestler. He gets on top of him, and it's like he might as well have had a building sitting on him.
He has his body type is something that's hard to deal with just how long he is, but how good he is at jiu-jitsu and the controls and positioning. That's a problem, man, because you have to make that extra effort. When you start hip escaping and on a regular guy, a guy that you're comfortable with the size, you don't have to make the movements are as long. But Luke, his build and the way he is, and his understanding of positioning, he's a hard out for a lot of guys.
Yeah, he's got that Hodger Gracie type body. That
Yeah.
long, strong.
It's weird. It's just different. It's like when I first rolled with like those guys over the judo guys like Manny Gambirian and Karo and those guys. I roll with them, and it's like they have this jiu-jitsu style that's like the timing is just off a beat somehow, and they're hitting all these kimuras, and it's like it feels funky. I feel like that's how Rockhole's body is. Cody McKenzie was like that. When I fought Cody, I was like, I'm really good at escaping back control, and I peel him off, and it's like, so how much leg do you have, man? Get this thing, you know what I mean? It just keeps going.
Yeah. Well, that's what makes the Yoel Romero fight all the more impressive.
Yeah.
That Yoel Romero shut that shit down entirely. He's terrifying, man.
But he's seen everything, right?
Yeah.
Wrestling all the best guys in the world.
Did you see the podcast I did with him and Joey Diaz?
I watched some of it, and I